Good morning, everyone. I'm going to wait for some people to tune in before I get started. Hi, Instagram. Hi, Facebook. Hi, YouTube. Say hi in the comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If this is your first time, definitely give me a shout out. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Aisha Chidole. I'm an immigration attorney. I present clients all over the United States with their family immigration matter and internationally with their family immigration matter. We have offices in Florida and Georgia. If you want to schedule a consult, you can call 407 995 6567, or you can send a WhatsApp 404 333 8751. Hi, Dara on Facebook. She says this is her first time. Hi, Dale. Hi, Novelette. Hi, Everblast. Good morning, Anoshike. Anoshike Chica. Good morning, Kingen from the Boogie Down Bronx. Good morning, Colleen. How are you? Um, okay, guys, let's get right into it. So today I want to talk about how to remove conditions on your 2-year green card. So first, let me set the stage. What is a 2-year green card? So a 2-year green card in the context of marriage is something that you get when at the time they approve your green card, you've only been married for under 2 years. If you've been married for under 2 years, you'll get a 2-year green card. And then at the 2-year expiration of that green card, well, 90 days before it, you are supposed to be filing an application for removal of condition. So do not be filing an application to renew your green card, because that is the wrong application. You should be filing an application to remove conditions in your green card. Keep in mind that when you're doing a removal of condition, the same requirements that you were asked before marriage are the same requirements. So you can't just submit a form and not submit anything, or you cannot just submit the information that you submitted before you got your green card. A lot of times when they give you conditional green cards, the idea behind that is that this green card is conditional. Let us see if you were really married or not. Because let's say, of course, when you're newlywed, you might not have all the things that you need or as much stuff because you're newlywed. You've not acquired a lot. But in 2 years' time, they expect you to have acquired much more stuff. So, let's use a simple date. So let's say you got your green card in 2020. And, before you got your green card, you submitted things from like 2019 and 2018. In 2022, you become eligible to remove the conditions in your green card. The information that they want is everything after the date in 2020 where you got your green card to date of present, to the present date of what you're submitting. And so, good morning, Cheeto. This is your first time. Thanks. And Johnny says, drop off your WhatsApp. All right, let me put it in here. Guys, hold on. Let me type it because I can't multitask. For WhatsApp. Okay, that's my WhatsApp right there. And for those of you on Instagram, it's 404 333. Oh my gosh, I put the wrong number. 333-8751. That's the WhatsApp. Ignore that number. Let me just put the correct one. So what are some issues or potential pitfalls that happen when you're removing the conditions on your green card? For some people, their marriages don't work, right? Your marriage may not work because for whatever reason you and your spouse don't get along and you choose to get a divorce. For other people, they're in a marriage that's extremely cruel. Their spouse is extremely cruel, extremely abusive. For other people, unfortunately, their spouses pass away. So what happens is that if you're not able to remove the conditions with your spouse, you can get a waiver exemption. However, you have to have evidence to support why those things happened. So what I mean by that is, even if you say, we didn't work, we're getting a divorce, they still want to see bona fide information. And I know that I've talked about this, a lot of times, and I can't stress it enough. Um, oh my goodness, my daughter is calling me. I hope everything is okay. Can you guys on Instagram hear me? Don't tell me I'm gonna have to go live again on Instagram. If you guys on Instagram can hear me, let me know. Because what happens is once my phone rings, my voice disappears. Can you guys hear me on Instagram? Can you just comment and let me know if you can hear me on Instagram? Okay, while I'm waiting for them to comment. So as I was saying, yeah, no sound. All right, Facebook and YouTube, just hold on. I'm gonna go live again on Instagram. That is really annoying. Let me just go on airplane mode so she doesn't call me. She can call her dad. Let's see. Okay. While Instagram, I'm going back live on Instagram. Hi, Instagram again. I got disconnected. But what I was talking about was how to remove conditions from a 2-year green card so you can get a 10-year green card. And if you didn't catch the first part of it, it got disconnected. You can tune into Facebook or YouTube later on or after this live so that you can see what I was talking about initially. So as I was saying, you can remove those conditions based on a waiver. However, regardless of whether you're eligible for a waiver or not, it is really important that you still show that your marriage was legitimate. So it's important for those of you who have conditional green cards that you continue to accumulate evidence. Don't think that you're out of the woodworks. You got to continue to accumulate evidence to show that your marriage was real, right? Whatever it is that you as a married couple share together, whether it's taxes, bank accounts that are active, not just dormant bank accounts, credit cards, car payments, car loans, purchasing cars, health insurance, proof of payment of your health insurance, and things like that, trips you've taken together, date nights, all these things will be helpful to remove the conditions. Now, that is how you remove the conditions. Going into the waivers will take me a bit longer to break down each of the waiver, so I'll probably do that in another live post. But let me see what other questions I have here, and then if I have no questions, then maybe I'll break down 1 or 2 options for you guys. Okay, so no questions yet. So let me just talk real quick about with an abuse waiver and a divorce waiver. So with an abuse waiver, it doesn't matter. The timeline to submit it doesn't matter. Meaning, if you got your green card in 2020 and your spouse has been abusive and it's unbearable, you can file for removal of conditions in 2020. You don't have to wait till 2022 and suffer that long. You can apply early to remove the conditions on your green card if you're in an extremely abusive or extremely cruel relationship. The same applies for divorce. If you've already divorced, you can apply for removal of conditions early. If you do apply late, you can explain the reason why you were late, and most of the times they will be okay with that. With abuse, whether you apply early or whether you apply late, it doesn't matter. One key thing with abuse here that's different from a VAWA self-petition is with a VAWA self-petition, you cannot be remarried. You cannot remarry while your case is pending. With this one, if you remarry, it's fine. You can still remove the conditions on your green card. Okay, so let me see what else. Francois says, can a person file for themselves? Anyone can do whatever they want to do, but do I recommend it? No. I always recommend going with a knowledgeable attorney for your immigration cases, just because sometimes people think they have a slam dunk case and they really don't have a slam dunk case. And what ends up happening is, by the time you go to the lawyer, you've so damaged your immigration path that it's difficult to repair. So something as important as your green card, because a green card can change or changes the trajectory for a lot of people's lives and the lives of their family. You should take it seriously and invest in it. It's an investment in yourself. Kiara says, what if a U.S. citizen spouse got heated with the officer and she told my friend her case will be reviewed? What's going to happen? My friend is devastated. I don't know what's going to happen. I wasn't at the interview, but why would they get heated with the officer? Like, I mean, I've experienced that as well, with the client who did that. And I'm just like, it's either you're trying to sabotage your spouse so that the spouse doesn't get their green card, because otherwise it makes absolutely no sense. Like any of my clients will tell you, prior to going to the interview, and one of the things that I stress to them is you need to go to that interview with humility. You got to go to that interview with humility and understand that that person has the power of the pen to make a difference in your life, whether to approve you, to deny you, and to actually send you off to be issued an NTA for deportation. So whatever it takes for you to be humble, be humble. So James says, good morning, lawyer. After biometrics, how long do you think it will take to get my work permit? Every case is different, so I can't predict. But generally, if you've done your biometrics, and this is not to be confused with a biometrics bypass, usually it could take anywhere from 2 to 3 months on average to get it. But again, this is not definitive. So don't say, oh, I told you that. Big Brother says, please, on my I-485, it shows my case has been transferred to another office. Please, how will I know what office it was transferred to? And should I worry about that? Well, I don't know what's going on in your case, so I can't really tell you why it was transferred. There are many reasons why cases are transferred to an office. One, either for processing quicker. Two, because that office has jurisdiction. Like if you file the VAWA case and then you're doing an abeyance, they may transfer it to Vermont. Not all offices are uniform about that. Some offices will do the transfer and notify you. Some will do the transfer and then notify you. But generally, if they transferred and are notifying you that they transferred it, they usually will send you a letter just saying that they transferred it to this office, and they will now be processing your case. Chidu says, my husband's name is Chinedu. So Chinedu. So he says, I've been called for an interview, but my wife is in prison. What should I do? Uh-oh, that's not good. I mean, it's up to the discretion of USCIS. There is an exception. There is a category where they may allow you to do an interview without your spouse if your spouse is incarcerated. However, it's up to the discretion of USCIS to make a determination based on what you've presented. One of the things that you can do is, you need to really have a lot of bona fides. You need to have a lot, to show and explain all of that. Good luck, though. Tyler says, with VAWA, I got my prima facie and did biometrics. It's been 11 months. Please, what's next? Once you've done your biometrics for VAWA, what's next is a decision. Most VAWA cases take 24 months to 2.5 years. So you still have time, and in it. Kiara says, she said he's ignorant because he was asking a lot of personal questions and he disrespects the officer's accent and bragging that he's a U.S. citizen and the officer is not. Yeah, clearly there's obviously something going on. Tell your friend to call me, let us see if she qualifies, because that doesn't make sense unless he's actually trying to get her denied, because that doesn't make sense. Expired. All right, let me see what other questions I have here. Can someone get a 10-year green card when the marriage is about 18 months, not up to 2 years? No. You cannot, okay, if you file a marriage-based petition, if on the day of approval, you've not been married for 24 months to the dot, you will not get a 10-year green card. You will get a 2-year green card. The only exception to this is if you're a VAWA applicant. With the VAWA applicants, when you're approved for VAWA, you will get a 10-year green card. There's no conditional green card. Idara says, good morning. I'm in an emotionally abusive marriage and he's thrown me out. My spouse has seized my interview letter. What can I do? Call my office immediately. 407-995-6567. A lot of times, physical abuse is throwing somebody out of the house. It's not only emotional, because if you throw somebody out of the house and they don't have anywhere to go to, you're putting the person at risk, of danger, of being robbed, of being physically assaulted, of being sexually assaulted. So there's a lot more going on there than just emotional and abuse of the legal system by seizing your interview letter. So call me 407-995-6567. Let's see if we can save your petition. Okay, Balmy says my EAD card is being produced. Will my EAD be revoked if I file VAWA? No, your EAD will not be revoked. You just need to make sure that you do an abeyance request with your I-485, where basically we're asking them to transfer it to your VAWA unit, so that way you don't have to give up your EAD. Ashana said, thanks for taking all my questions. You're welcome. I hope you got your responses yesterday. And safe travels. Can you attend an interview with a client, a green card interview? It depends. When you say, can you attend an interview with a client, a green card interview, meaning you didn't hire me to prepare your case and you just want me to attend your interview? If that's the question you're asking, it depends. It depends on my availability. It depends on what your interview is. It depends on your immigration record and what we need to do. I don't like to be blindsided. I need to know what is going on. And in order for me to prepare my potential client accurately, or prepare them well for the interview. So it all depends. But you can call the office. Let's see what day it is. I will tell you that I've had quite a few interviews since January started, so it just depends on my availability. So Ozzy Gulveran says, if I overstay my visa for 3 years, can I adjust my status if I marry a U.S. citizen? Yes. Big Brother says your page always gives me hope. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Let's see. Davis Osaga says, good morning from Georgia. I appreciate your good work with the immigrants community. Thank you. Oh yeah, before I forget, guys, for those of you in Orlando, I will be doing a free clinic on Saturday with AILA, which is the American Immigration Lawyers Association. We will be helping you fill out your naturalization forms and preparing you for citizenship. I'm going to post this later because I don't have the address offhand where it's going to be. So if you're in Orlando and you're trying to do it yourself, at least come there and get some free pro bono legal help. And this will be Saturday. Personally, I will be there from 10 to 12. So Fumi says, for VAWA case, it shows on my status that fingerprint was taken and it's over 8 months now. Over 8 months from what? Is it over 8 months from you submitting your petition? Over 8 months from you submitting your fingerprint? And what exactly is the question you're asking? Are you asking me what is next? So my favorite lawyer, when are you going to do something in New York for us? Oh, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Something's coming in New York. Listen, New York is my home. That's my home. So stay tuned. Let's see what else we have here. You're welcome, Ozzy. Everybody says, when applying for VAWA with your children, do your kids come on the interview as well? And does the officer interview the child if they're inside the US? This is actually a really good question. Um, so if your children are in the US, the VAWA application, your VAWA application, the actual VAWA application, no one is interviewed. They make a decision without the interview. For the I-485, usually you will be attending the interview, as well as the child, depending on the age of the child and what they do with you. Um, excuse me. Sometimes they will just bypass the interview and just ask for medicals if your medicals were not submitted initially, or if your medicals have expired. Remember, the 485 interview for VAWA cases, officers are not supposed to be asking you about your marriage or your abuse, because you've already been approved for that by the VAWA unit. This is just to make sure that there's nothing in your records that makes you inadmissible from, becoming a green card holder. Kaylania says, can someone with TPS file for a green card? The answer depends. It depends on what is your current status. How did you enter the US? What are you filing on the basis of? So, the question is just too broad. There are just so many categories. But, are there instances where people with TPS can switch over to a green card? Yeah, if they qualify. So we need to make sure that you qualify. So, that will be the answer to that. Does it matter how soon you get married after a divorce, according to USCIS? It could. It could. Honestly, it's not a good look to get divorced on March 1st and marry somebody else on March 5th. It's not a good look. That being said, if you do that because maybe you and your spouse have been separated for a while and you're just waiting to finalize the divorce, just prepare that you're probably going to have a Stokes interview. Just prepare for that. That they're probably going to want to know that your relationship was bona fide, and they're probably going to dig into the previous relationship to make sure that you didn't enter that relationship for immigration purposes. Tyler says, thank you so much for all you do. So informative. Immigration attorneys like you are sometimes rare. Thank you. That's so nice. Benny says, please come to Houston. Guys, even though I'm in Florida and Georgia, I represent clients all over, so even if I'm not physically present there, you can still hire me. But, I will have some announcements coming later in the year of some stuff that we're doing, but starting with some other areas other than Houston. But it's all on the map. It's all on the map. I was actually born in Houston. After VAWA is approved, how soon can you typically get a green card? It really varies. It could take anywhere from 6 to 8 months thereafter. Marianne says, if you're separated from your spouse, do you need documentation to show you're separated? This is actually a really good question. So separation is different in every state in the US. Some states, there's nothing that is submitted. You're just separated because you're no longer living together. In other states, there is a legal form of separation. And if my memory serves me, so do not quote me on this because I am not a family attorney. So nobody better say Aisha said this or that. I'm not a family law attorney. But if I remember from, when did I take my New York bar? In like 2006 or 2005. So that's like 17 years ago. So I don't remember, and I don't know the laws right now. Like, I will give examples. New York is one of those states where you kind of have to have like a legal separation. And if I'm wrong here, you guys can point it out to me before you actually finalize a divorce. So it's very, very state specific. So Marianne, what you want to do is check with your state and see what it is. Okay. Sandra says, you're the best lawyer ever. I wish everyone could hear you. You will take the time out for your client. You're the best. Listen to Sandra, a fellow client of mine. Listen to her. Thank you so much, Sandra. So Marianne, you're asking for New York State. In New York State, I think that you need to have a legal separation. But again, this is memory from 17 years ago. I don't practice in New York. But you can certainly do a search on avvo.com for New York family attorneys, and they will probably be able to tell you what the requirements are. You could also probably call the county of clerk, the clerk's office, in the family division, and figure out or ask your questions there. Um, so Everblood said, "Is our pictures real necessary for a VAWA case, because people normally change their phones and stuff normally happens." So the thing about VAWA is that what evidence they consider is any credible evidence, meaning any evidence that you have that is credible um, can be submitted. If you have pictures, is helpful. Any evidence you have is always helpful. You know, when people tell me, "Oh, I was so upset at my spouse, I deleted our history, I deleted our phone number, our text messages, I deleted our picture," I literally want to cry, because I'm like, that is like gold. That is the evidence we need. So I know that you shouldn't go into your marriage thinking, "Oh, let me just document and save this stuff." But if you're an immigrant and you don't have your paper, you shouldn't be deleting any stuff, whether or not you're good with your spouse, because you have evidence to show legitimate marriage, right? And if things are not good, you have evidence to show things are not good. Sometimes I have marriage-based cases where they delete arguments that they have with their spouse because they're scared the USCIS is going to be like, "Let me see your phone," and they're going to see the argument. Sometimes arguments establish relationships. Like if you and your spouse, if anybody on this live tells me that you and your spouse, including those officers, tell me that you and your spouse have never heard an argument before, that is a big fat lie. So showing arguments between your spouse sometimes establishes a marriage, establishes a relationship. So don't delete those things. I don't care whether you change your phone. This is 2022. You should be storing your stuff on cloud or Google Drive if you use Android. You should be storing your stuff. Serenity says, "You're indeed very informative. My husband and I spoke with you a few days ago, and you did an awesome job educating us, and it was just a consultation." Oh, thank you so much. I don't remember who you are, because everybody has a different name on social media, but thank you. I appreciate it. Arodo says, "Why don't you handle asylum cases?" Honestly, the reason is because I really don't enjoy it. I really don't enjoy it, because a lot of asylum cases are frivolous, and it doesn't have it's an area where there are more denials than approvals, and when clients hire me, like, I want to give them every fighting chance of approval in my power. So if you really don't have a solid, really, really strong asylum case, it's really not worth it, because with asylum cases, like, you're put in immediate deportation proceedings if you get denied. And it's just not a good feeling to know that, my client could potentially be in that. Like, I'm taking cases to win them. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm competitive. I used to be a track star. I like to win. And for those that say it's not about winning, that's fine. I like to win. That's why I'm a lawyer, right? To win my cases for my clients. And I don't want to take cases that have more of an odds of losing, than winning, unless it's like super solid. You have just so much to show why you're seeking asylum. Um, Fanny Boye says, "When one gets a prima facie and USCIS includes the child as a derivative and the child as a US citizen, what does that mean?" It just means it's an error. Sometimes USCIS makes errors as well, because your US citizen children don't need to be listed as your derivative, but we see that happen sometimes. I Love Clark says, "If you file for VAWA and want to divorce, is it better the abuser filed the divorce or the victim?" It doesn't matter who files it. They don't care about that. Uh, okay, so I think this person is asking the same question. So I just talked about the answer. Okay, official still says, "This woman is the one handling my case. I would recommend her anyway. Thoroughbred attorney with a sound immigration practice. Keep it up, ma'am." Thank you so much. I don't even know who all these people like, because you guys have different names here, but thank you. I really, really, really appreciate it. I appreciate all the love, guys. Rashida says, what time can I call to book an appointment? You can call right now on 407-995-6567. Usually we have somebody that's able to answer the phone from 8:30 to 12 midnight Eastern Standard Time. And then on Saturdays from oh my goodness, I don't even remember. I think from like 9 till like 3 p.m. I will confirm. But you can also, if you Google my firm, it has like our office hours listed there, and you can book your appointment then. But this is a good time to call, okay? Kalechi Ogeke says, can one apply for VAWA then withdraw their petition for an I-751 application? I wouldn't recommend that. Why would you withdraw your I-751? Because your I-751 application means that you have a green card. So you're basically moving on to a 10-year green card. So without more context, I wouldn't recommend that. Well, you can call me and schedule consult. I'll see. Okay, guys, I have to go. I have a lot to do today. It was nice chatting with you guys. I'm not sure. I won't be on tomorrow. I actually have a school field trip with my daughter. But I will see you guys on Monday. I'm usually on around 9:30, 10, maybe 10. I think most of the time I'm on at 10. Tune in, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification button so that you know when I'm coming on live. Ola on Instagram. Call me if you have a question after the live stream. I don't check my DMs. Whenever you guys send DMs, I get you guys need to see my DM inbox to understand. But the thing is, I gotta work. So if I'm just reading DMs, like I can't do the work. Look at you can't see all the packets on my table. So my staff checks my DM, but it's better for you to just schedule a consultation. Okay. All right. I hope you have a good day. Bye.